did you see my last message? It's okay, the only thing you're gonna hear is techno. Specifically from Conker's Bad Fur Day.
What the fuck?
Snake Eater.
It's so fluffy!
So
Have you
fluffy.
gotten to the light? I was about ready to ask if you've gotten to the ladder.
I didn't even start my.
Should probably do that. I don't know what you mean. Nah.
Backwards. Have fun. I'm gonna drop down.
では前に出ます。
Hello, guys. Okay, I just got the go live tweet out. Do me the favor, go give it some love. And let me grab you guys today's sauce. Hello, everybody. Here is today's artwork. It is from Mr. Vankoa. Vanko has done multiple art pieces for the channel, including the Cyberpunk piece and the Pokemon piece, as well as the... Ooh, yeah, I almost forgot one. He's also done the Greek goddess piece for Aurelia. Make sure you guys support him. And let me see if I can get myself into a note. I've had god-awful time now in the new player account actually getting somebody to show up. Okay. It's not what I wanted to do, but that should work. I believe this can still kill. But how's everybody doing today? Hello, Yugi. Hello, Yamino. Hello, Field. Head's killing me, so I have to lie down, lurking. Have a good stream. No problem, Jay. Again, I hope everybody's having a good one. But yeah, today is pretty much a nothing day. I thought we were supposed to have the prologue, but I guess I got the timing wrong. So we are still a bit without. I basically did this in the reverse order of what I'm supposed to do. But it should work. Epilogue, yeah, JP's supposed to get an epilogue for their event. It appears to be just a story-based event, so nothing too much, but I guess it'll give us some answers. So people are certainly looking forward to it. Oh my god, it actually didn't die. I low rolled. Let's go. We're looking at a 3-turn, boys. Somehow I backdoored my way into this. Maybe not. I might not actually have the firepower. Let's go for it, but I think without the cards I can't actually 3-turn. But I do get a properly juiced Noble Phantasm here. Doing well any cooking. I actually cooked yesterday. I cooked skillet burgers because, long story short, due to like filial obligations and stuff, I just did not get to like do any sort of like grocery shopping or cooking over the weekend. So I still have some leftover soup from the prior week. I have skillet burgers that I now made yesterday. Hilariously enough, though, I actually haven't even gotten to eat my leftovers because twice now I have had leftover pizza because I had leftover pizza that I ate with my parents. And then apparently my parents went to eat pizza for lunch and they got too much. So my mom brought leftover pizza to my house. I was like, she's like, do you want it? I'm like, okay. It's like it's free food, right? Like, but like it's kind of weird because I'm like, why did you go get pizza again? Kat, have you not read the Lost Belts? I've read the Lost Belts on my main account. You happen to know when the Zerker Saber Grand Duel discount is? No, like I said, I had just found out about that. Actually, I don't know if Trubs is lurking and if he's aware, but that was something that that I had heard, is that we're actually getting a replay on that. Like we were getting a second discount on those. And I won't be surprised if before the end of the year we get a second discount on just about all of them. Like maybe not Caster, since I think it's the end one, but it would not surprise me. Damn. What kind of pizza? So I turned my parents on to getting Roma tomatoes on pizza. Basically, we ordered a pizza this weekend and I was the one that had to order it. So I was like, here, trust me. And I got like pepperoni and then just Roma tomatoes. And they were like, wow, it is so like fresh tasting and like kind of like moist, right? Like not like wet, but like not like dried out cardboardy taste that like sometimes delivery pizzas get. So they were actually impressed by that, and they were like, okay, well, I'm gonna have to get it. All right. Like I guess that's what they did, is they went and got some themselves. They added banana peppers to it, but it was fine. I don't mind banana peppers on pizza. I'm going on holiday from the 23rd to the 11th. We'll end up missing anything on an A. I need to find a. Does anyone have the roadmap? Wait, here it is. Okay. The Grailfront event is not scheduled until mid-October, so you have at least until the 10th. At least. So you're probably fine. When you say, are you going to miss anything? There will probably be campaigns. So I'm not going to say, no, you won't miss anything. I'm just going to say that, like, it is what it is. Damn. Roma, yes. Next event is the one with the dual archer. Yeah, you're talking about Ptolemy. Ptolemy can switch his Noble Phantasm type. There'll be a Bleached Earth campaign at least. That's true. Actually, chat, is that also when we get second Tolga fight, or is that not till next year? You're going to have to remind me, because, again, juggling two servers in my head is getting overbearing at this point. Let's do that. That'll get me to another Noble Phantasm. And that'll let the clock start ticking on Castoria's NP. I really hate Demeter now. Demeter's probably going to be my next major cock block on this account. Because, like, force supports are going to be where the problem is. And I don't believe there's really a force support issue in the first Lost Belt. I think second Lost Belt is where you really first encounter it against Surtur. Olga fight is not till after OC2. Okay. Yeah, I just couldn't remember. Kastoria Bakatoria is going to make LB4 so easy. Pretty much. Like, that will be really nice. Like, you can see, even against a 90++ node, the node itself just has a hard time actually doing anything to me. Bosses will be a little bit different because bosses have different mechanics, and like, say for instance, if they can like hyper fixate on one character, they can blow your ass up. But it's pretty darn hard for them. Also, she must have popped her charge skill because she was at that really fast. Now that I think about it. LB2 has 2 force support fights. Yeah. Should we expect the Saber Berserker banners to rerun tomorrow with the Grand Battle free pod access period? Is that tomorrow? Because someone was just asking about that, and I actually don't know when it is. But should we expect it to rerun? I don't know. I would probably tell you no. And I think at that point, that would be smart of them not to. This could get spicy in a hurry. I kind of have to do it that way. One turn on both art steroids, but I have 2 arts cards here, so this behooves me to just go ahead and run with it and pray to God I get an arts crit at least. This is actually one of the slowest runs that I've had. I just, like, when I got to turn 3, everything, like, fell out of order. Demeanor's the first fight I've gotten stuck at, and I'm hard stuck. I'm kind of the opinion now at this point that while, like, I am trying to exercise my goals and, like, get stuff online and stuff, I almost kind of want to hit a point where I get stuck just for demonstrative purposes so I can show people how to handle it. Like, the issue that I'm having right now is a little bit that not only have I gotten too lucky with some of my rolls, but also just quite literally, like, my account is already pretty much stacked for boss killing. Hey, Kimba, how's it going? My sub symbol reappears. That's Twitch for you. Like I said, I think there's like a couple hours of gap at the end of a sub that it will show that you don't have it, but you do. Like, you're still on recurring sub, so it won't give you the benefits of subbing, but it will effectively do it. Because I know I've had other people complain about it for years. So it's like, it's not anything new, unfortunately. Super Ryan carried me so hard through Olympus that I can't imagine things like the Demeter fight without him. I believe when I was going through LB5 on JP, I think I used a Super Ryan to clear some of the harder fights. It did actually like work. Because I think I like backlined him and just kind of turned it into a solo. You do have Zerktoria, you should be fine. Yeah. Grand Saber Berserker free period alongside the epilogue for the no event is tomorrow. I was thinking the epilogue was today, but yeah, I guess I got the timing of it wrong. But no, I like, in a weird way, I feel like this account has already quote unquote proven its point. I still want to like get it to the point where we have Trom so it can do a lotto. Or at least do everything for the lotto. I believe I'd have to go double check, but I don't think Trom is a requirement to actually do Christmas. I think it's a requirement to do the story and get the welfare. But like just to farm, I don't think it's a requirement. I kind of got to do it that way. I sent courts to Demeter, and I don't regret it, even if that's bad to do. Yeah, I mean, the idea is that you should never Saint Court something, right? Like, you should never waste any stuff. But if there's a point where you say, like, I just don't want to deal with this, and I just don't want to have to, then sure, you go for it. I think, like, this is maybe what, like, some of the more, like, challenge enthusiast people don't understand, is that, like, your average player, I think, can at least appreciate a good challenge every now and then, but there are fights that like will just tilt people and they will not give a crap and they will just kind of force it, right? And that's just, I think it is what it is. I think like that is, at least to me, what has led to people embracing Castoria, say for instance, for so hard, is because they just want an easy solution. They don't want to have to like big brain every fight that the game throws at them. And I think that's kind of understandable. Do you keep popping blue prisms to continuously revive, or is it a one-time thing? You can, but you will eventually run out because they are limited, right? Demeter's attack lines still haunt me. I really don't think Demeter's that bad, but I do think Demeter is one of those fights that's going to test your account depth. What do I mean? In a similar way to Surtur, and I think the issue with Surtur is that Surtur basically tested people's depth on archers. The problem with this is archers were a class that most people reasonably had depth in for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of the archers are just really like kit-wise well done. Two, you already had things like Camelot that kind of required people to have it. So it just was a thing. So I think Surtur actually should have been a little bit more of a cock block, but it wasn't due to the circumstances. Then you end up with Demeter, and Demeter is the same issue, only Demeter is basically for writers. And as someone in chat just pointed out, writers have not really gotten a pretty robust roster. A lot of the writers are similar to at least the single target archers, somewhat undertuned. So you do have a little bit of an issue there, but writers really had not been a check at that point of the game. If you guys think back to everything you have fought, sure, there were things like the Solomon fight. There were things like the demon pillars that incentivized at least cavalry classes. But there was nothing that actually hard required riders. And even then, there was nothing that really, I want to say, like, required more than, say, one, right? So it's like, oh, I got Kentucky, I'm good, right? Demeter requires multiple riders. That is an issue in and of itself. I think that's the problem that people ran into, was not that they didn't have writers, it's that they didn't have enough. And so as they went into Demeter, they were not capable of handling her. And because, yeah, she's a depth test, right? So it's like, because you lacked that depth, it made the fight way harder. There's also some other sneaky aspects to the fight, like the fact that Demeter has 4 abilities and she alternates between them in the exact same order every time. But if you're not paying attention, you're not going to realize that. The first time I fought Demeter, I did not realize that until someone said. So it was a thing, and I went like, oh, shit, okay. So once you know that, you know what Demeter's going to do next, and you can work with that. You can predict it. So it actually does make the fight a little bit easier because you know what's coming. But that is one of those things where, again, I think like it's at least mechanically somewhat complex. People were not equipped to handle it, and they kind of went in and just got their asses kicked. So I understand why people have, like, you know, say for instance, popped courts and stuff like that. I would advise you not to. I would advise you to do everything in your power to like get around something like that, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go with that. I didn't even have Kentucky. Yeah. Didn't at least one Demeter fight eat your support because Canis was forced on you? Yes, but that's also the same deal with the Surtur fight. So it's like, technically, it should have been the same issue as the Surtur fight. The difference is simply just which class they chose. And riders really had not been tested prior to that point in the game. So most people didn't have nearly as robust of a like rider allotment. Buffer move resist like from Nightingale, so helpful for that fight too. Yep. There's a couple things where it's like it's really nice to have buffer move resistance. But like I said, if that's a fight that I end up having to like use seals or something, it's not going to bother me. We're actually going to do this just to protect Castoria Berserker. Actually, I had a Brave Chain there that I could have gone with, but the healing is probably the safer play. That nasty defense up can destroy a run. Yep. Keep in mind, too, things like command codes help out. So by the time we get there, I'll probably start like trying to slot in things that I can do. Also, I think, like, for instance, my Castoria, well, my account, my new player account has a pretty rare defense ignore C, which is not a common thing. Most people have to wait till a very specific set of like usually Chaldea Boys is the event where people get finally a defense ignore C, and usually they don't have an MLP. So the fact that this summer actually had one was kind of hilarious in a weird way. You actually gave me that advice years ago when I was new and trying to rush for LB6 for event access. It still took me 3 additional attempts, but I cleared Demeter with an account that had absolutely no business being an LB5. Yep. Yep. I do not have a defense ignore C. I'll show you the one I have. If you guys rolled either the... Actually, I don't know if the second banner had it this year, but I was going to say, if you rolled the final female banner or the male banner, you would have had a shot at the C. It is the Tezcatlipoca Summer C. This bad boy. Ignore defense and increase Buster Card effectiveness by 8% and MP strength by 15%. So obviously the Buster Card effectiveness by 8% is not going to be a big deal, but defense ignore and NP strength by 15% on Castoria Berserker is like low-key goated. So like, if you come up against a fight where it's like, oh, the enemy is spamming that, I'm going to be like, bet. And it's... So defense up is also like really nasty if you get a boss that can spam it. For those of you guys that have ever like fought a servant gauntlet and had the fight fall apart, have any of you guys ever had to fight against Ozzy in a servant gauntlet style CQ? Ozzy's nasty. Anybody like Ozzy can be the same way too, but it's basically people with imperial privilege. They can spam their imperial privilege and they can start getting dumb stacks of like defense up. So it's one of those things you really don't want to have to deal with if you can help it. Okay. Did I just do that and I'm not paying attention? Maybe I did that at lunch. Okay, chat. Now for NA. Never come back. You can't see bomb vid to remember how to see bomb. It's funny because I don't have to watch my own videos in that regard. I usually just know how to do it. But no, I totally understand. I think my CE bomb video is one of my most watched videos of all time. Because it's a topic that very few people know and very few people explain. Like, I'll be honest, it wouldn't even surprise me if like other FGO content creators don't even know how to CE bomb. I'm sure like most of them do, but it wouldn't surprise me if like others don't. It's a concept that is at face value not apparent in the game, and it only becomes apparent if you pay attention to the way like the like CE's level, like the way that CE's level. If you pay attention to that, then you'll notice it. But I think very few people actually do. So it is what it is. You get so many blue cubes on JP these days, you can brute force any story that isn't a gimmick fight. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'd have to look to see like okay, actually, let's double check real quick. Like, do I have blue prisms on the new player account? I don't know if they'd show up in the item list is the other issue. There's some in the Mana Prism shop? No. Can't buy any right now then, so I don't know. I don't know how I would tell. I'm just trying to think like if blue prisms even show up. Aren't they LB6 and more? No. Blue prisms can be used at any point in the story. They expired before this event started. Yeah, that's what I assumed, is that like we're out of a campaign period, which is fine. I just was actually curious to see if I had any. Whee! Do I have a which 4-star pick for the ticket vid out? Yes, mine was the first video out. I've had it out for like a month now. Definitely go give it a watch. Like, there's some good stuff. I think the ticket just really depends on like what your account needs, and that's usually with those videos. I try to like talk about each servant and give you an idea rather than trying to tell you who to pick, because it really just depends on what your goals are for your account. Sinking like a stone, carry on. I have one defense ignore C, and that's one with some dude with a dartboard over his groin. Is that Teach? I think. Is it Roland? Okay. It's kind of weird, at least in the grand scheme of like how good are craft essences and like how many do you need. I think like I could almost make a video on that as to like what are the quote unquote good C's that you should go for, because as things start to come back into the shop, we really don't need every craft essence. Like, I think that's actually one of the issues FGO has at this point is the craft essences are going to have to begin to power creep because they can't not. The only things that they could add that they haven't really done, say for instance, are like new combinations of taunt C's, new combinations of like semi like combat effective and semi like mana prism shop effective, but like that's the only sorts of things that I can think of that they really just haven't touched. Evergreen CE video would be a good idea. I mean, there's several C's at this point that I think you could say are evergreen, right? Any hope for Gouda Poster Girl to come back this year on JP or nah? I think that depends entirely off whether or not we have a Gouda event this year. It's looking like Halloween will be the, how should I put it? Like Halloween's probably going to be our foreigner story for Ordeal Call. So I'm doubting it'll be like something like Gouda Gouda. Now, if we get Liz foreigner, that'd be hilarious. But beyond that, I'm not sure. So there is, I guess, in theory, room in like November because they don't have a Christmas event this year. And we know the finale is going to be at the end of the year. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them do something towards like the latter part of the year. That could be a Gouda Gouda, but we'll just have to see. Breaking news, Cad likes Artoria. Yep. ICAD blue cubes do show in the item list. You just don't have any. Okay, thank you. That's what I thought. And I was like, well, maybe I just don't have any because they expired. So I'm glad to know that I'm not insane. Thank you, William. If they ever release a limited C selector, would Poster Girl be a pick? That's an interesting question because we have had a limited selector before and Poster Girl was not on it. If they were to do another one and Poster Girl were included, should you pick Poster Girl? I think depends on how many taunt Cs you already have. But this is weird because I think you can make an argument that says that you really only need like one taunt C in the entire game. And you can get one for free. Well, ish. So beyond that, I don't know that it would necessarily be a good pick. I was asking because we're going on almost 6 years of Poster Girl being unavailable. I feel like we had this dispute before, and that's not the right way to word it. The right way to word it is that it hasn't had an actual devoted rate up, but it has been potlucked within the last 6 years. So it's not that it hasn't been available. You could have rolled it. It just would have been painful. It gets delayed every time you ask. I went for Salter for coins. Now I can Black Grail. Nice. I would just like to MLB my Poster Girl. Technically, that doesn't help it. It depends. If you're using Poster Girl like I did in the rare like deal of like you wanted to use it to help someone solo the Ort fights, MLB Poster Girl was so good there. for like most normal uses of Poster Girl, you don't want to level up. You don't want it to have more HP. So it is what it is. I shouldn't do this, but I'm going to do this. Wait. I think it's the Bartholomew one is the one I want. Because he's at least a weekly target. And I'm going to try to kill his ass with MHX. Let's not change this. I'm just waiting for the Prisma LA movie poster scene to be put in the RP show. Just for collection. What's worse is the Musashi New Year's scene never came back. I think it showed up in other anniversaries, hasn't it? Or, sorry, New Year's. Black Grail versus Rising Mudrain. Black Grail's better in like 90% of scenarios. Rising Mudrain's really good for units that basically just have good overcharge effects. But only if the overcharge effect is strong enough. Yeah, I don't think I can one-shot him. But I can definitely two-shot him. Go get me 2 poster girls so I can MLB and not MLB. No. Learned a lot from your vids and stuff. Thanks, Cad. Just wanted to say this. No, it's all good. Glad to know they're helpful. Probably gonna use a blue apple. And there's just nobody on tonight. It is a dead night. But it is what it is. Hello. If she was dead, unsurprised. Yeah, but it's also just people not coming to stream, right? Is what it is. Like, don't get me wrong, I get there's not a whole lot going on right now, but I doubt Bartholomew is threat to humanity. They're just gonna send it again. Here's the thought for C. Necromancy style overcharge C basically has 50-50 shot of overcharging an MP each time you launch one. No. I would never use it. Like maybe someone else would. I would never use it. And I think the reason why I would never use it is because you couldn't guarantee it. So it's like, it would be okay, I guess, in the grand scheme of things, if you were like really just trying to. Oh, did I turn my storm pods on? I bet I didn't. Sorry, not my storm pods, my teapots. But no, I really do think that that if you can't consistently do it, it'd kind of be worthless. And the only thing would be if you're in like a attrition battle and your primary damage looper has like decent overcharge effects such that you would want that. And it would be better to get like, basically you would get on average more uses out of having that C than not. That would be the only way. Jesus, game. Not giving me any cards. Bard is a threat to some people's humanity? Absolutely. If she always has its up and downs like any other gotcha. It does. But you guys got to understand, when I say something like that, I'm speaking with like 8 years of experience. Like, it is what it is. It's one of my lowest view counts, I think, like overall across like pretty much since I've hit partner. But I think this is just the future of FGO, sadly. And it's like, I don't want to get like too doomer or anything like that, but it's something that I'm aware of. I'm aware that view counts are what they are, and it's like, it's depressing, but there's nothing you can do about it. Like, oh, I can get mad at people for not coming to stream, and then they won't come to stream, right? Like, so there's nothing I can really like say or do to like change things other than to like, I guess it's on me to try to make stream more entertaining for people. Give people a reason to come every single day. Okay, how is she doing? Oh, I probably need one more day because I think I was at 70k yesterday, and maybe two. I might not be able to get it. Also, chat, just a reminder, I will not be streaming tomorrow. Tomorrow is date night. RNG is not friendly when you're not trying to consistently farm for stuff. Or when you're trying to consistently farm for stuff. Yeah. Like I said, I could only imagine if it's a fight in which you'd have to go the distance, it's a knockdown, drag out fight, you're constantly like noble phantasming, then you're just playing the averages, right? We got 3 gold apples tomorrow on JP because break bars were glitched. Huh? When we get part 2 finale, you'll have tons of people here. I hope. I think like this has been my thing for years, is that like as other people come and go, I usually try to stay consistent for people that actually like the game and want to be here. I think that's probably something I don't talk about enough because it probably looks like I'm trying to like slide other content creators when I say stuff like that. But I think the truth of the matter, at least for me, is that like I recognize that there is a demand for consistency in this community, and I've always tried to provide it. So I just hope basically that people reward it. That is to say, it's like if I'm on every night, I hope people continue to show up, or at least like lurk, rather than be like, oh, but this other streamer is on this night, so I'm gonna like run over here instead. And it's like, you can still watch those people. I'm not gonna say not to or anything like that. But I have noticed is like people will just like leave stream at times. And that I think is one of just the most like sad and depressing things as a streamer. I've been on both sides of that equation. I think a lot of people don't realize it, but there was a period in time where I streamed and I was not a big person. And I totally understand what it's like when people leave your stream because somebody bigger came on. I get it. It sucks. But also at the same time, that's why I've tried to be consistent for people, is because I realized that like, you know, like, oh, that streamer's on that one day and then like none of the other days. And then it's like, who else do they watch? Well, that's why I try to be there. But I can't stop people from like watching other people, and that's not my goal. My goal is simply to, like I said, almost provide a consistent like viewership option for you guys. We can complete a class score tomorrow. Yeah, on NA. The one who desires salvation, which gives overcharge 2 for 3 to 4 turns. Yeah, that one's okay, at least like depending on what you're trying to do. I think that C is actually a little overhyped, but it is good. It is a really nice effect. Are you going to start LB1 soon? Yeah, potentially. We're going to be doing JP here real fast. I did do my Grail casting on both servers, so we're good on that front. I enjoy watching your YouTube vids, and many have helped me quite a few times. Yeah, I wish a little bit, like I wish there was like more guide content for me to make. I still need to make a video on like taunt effects. It is on my to-do list. I need to like sit down with Avalon and plan it out. But I think like other than that, there's not much in the way of like actual guide content to make, and it's kind of sad. I think like that just is the way that FGO is at this point, is that it is a solved game. It is a game that is 10 years old, and everybody just kind of knows what's going on. No rains. Is there a list of strongest limited seas? Not to my knowledge. That's why I said like that's potentially a video that I could make. But I'll be honest too, I think because I know I was talking with Okayist about this. I think like YouTube numbers are just way down across the board for like all content creators for FGO. And that's not like a good sign. I do get that we're kind of in a dead period, but I think like the numbers have been down, and I think that at least shows that while people are still playing FGO, their interest in watching FGO content is way down because they're instead watching other content. Like they're watching, like people basically aren't going to like leave YouTube per se, right? Like they go to YouTube either because they need to watch a video explaining something, or they go to YouTube because it's just a habitual thing for them and they like to be entertained, right? So at the end of the day, I have to assume that if on average everything is down, that it's because people have like their fixation has shifted. So they're now fixated on like, I don't know, say like a new gacha game, right? Like they could be fixated on Uma Musume or something instead. Holy shit, dude. I have like 6 or 7 rains on my friends list that are all really good and can work for this, and none of them are showing up. The refresh list is just dogging me here. There we go. Okay. I was gonna say, it's like that was a good like 5 refreshes. I'm still waiting on the CAD solve series where CAD fixes a series of units. I mean, I could do something like that. I'm not sure how much interest there would be. That would be an interesting idea. I will honestly also say that chat, my time spent on making content is currently down. That is both in part due to having to handle things on the side, as well as like needing to plan dates and needing to basically just handle, again, like so much extra crap. Like I have like crap going on with the house, I have crap going on with work, I have crap going on basically in every facet of my life. So that has not helped things, but in a weird way, and I don't mean to like, again, like get doomer with you guys, but like I hope, if anything, that's actually like uplifting, because some of the stuff is like me working out. Some of it is like me eating better and cooking for myself. So it's like, I hope, if anything, that's actually inspiring to you guys rather than like being like, oh, Cat doesn't care. To be fair, YouTube did change the algorithm again, so views are down for everyone. It is what it is. Like, there's a lull after the massive 10th Annie as well. Oh yeah, I think both servers are pretty dead right now. Like, there is just, oh, this was a random. This was not even someone on my friends list. Damn. I had to refresh so many times to get a random to show up. But yeah, I think like there's definitely still content to be made for FGO, and I guess that's not what I'm complaining about. I'm more like saying, if anything, that I feel like people's interest overall in FGO content is what's down. But in general, it doesn't stop me. It's just something that like I said, I think it's like, it's discouraging. It's depressing. It's like you don't want that to be the case, but it is. And so you just try to like truck through it. Like, my videos get a fraction of what they used to get, which is big sad, but it just is what it is. Now, I could certainly go to another gacha game and like start making content for that and things like that, but I don't know. I'm not like, and I've told you guys this before, but it's like I'm not a big gotcha gamer. I play FGO because it's Fate. I don't much care for the gotcha, like the live service gotcha style of games, because it's pretty clear that they're predatory. And so like one of the things to me is I like to play other like normal games on the side to still keep myself grounded in that regard, because I feel like one of the pitfalls that people fall into is they just like kind of lose their life playing multiple gotcha games and they just never get a moment's rest. It's basically wake up, play gotcha game, do dailies, spend AP down, do this in all of your games, have free moment, goon. Repeat. That is what it feels like to me. Only 23K, but you know what? Because he lived, he's getting another Noble Phantasm. FGO Road to the End of Part 2. Yeah. I mean, like, I'll say this. I do think, like, developer messaging on this is just straight ass. I think it's one of the stupidest marketing campaigns I've ever seen, and I think it just literally shoots them in the foot. You're basically telling people that the game is ending, even though it's not. And I feel like that will naturally have repercussions. Like, I don't blame anybody for checking out because of that, right? It's like there's only so many times Nasu can sit there and say, it's ending, before like people go like, well, damn, okay. I've seen content creators do like 6 at once. Yeah, but I've also seen what happens to those content creators. And it's not pretty. And Chad, I guess this is what will make me a little bit different from a lot of other content creators. I am a person first. I will always try to provide you guys with content. I'll always try to be live for you guys when I can be and stuff like that. But I'm a person first. And being a person comes first. You guys don't come second even. And I don't want to say that to like insult you. I'm saying that just literally in the sense of like, I have priorities in my life and I don't want to make you guys sound like an afterthought. You're not. But everything else kind of has to come before stream. And this is kind of the advice I've given other streamers, say for instance, that you need to right your own ship. You need to take care of yourself before you worry about stream. If you don't, you are asking for problems. Are you going to get Digimon Time Strangers? No, I'm not really interested in Digimon. I'm returning to the game after about a year and I got Castoria, Morgan, and all kinds of good stuff. Nice. Congratulations. Let me know if you have any questions. You can play 2, maybe 3 gotchas. Anything past that is just too much time coming out. I mean, I'll be honest. I play 3 accounts for FGO right now. And that is a bear. Like, I think part of the issue is that 2 of the accounts are on my phone. And 1 is on an emulator. So the one that's on an emulator is naturally difficult. This is tough to be AP efficient. If Blue Apples didn't exist, I don't think I could run the 3rd account. If I could run a 3rd account on my phone, that would definitely make it a lot easier. Because then I could just spend it down on the go wherever the hell I am. But without that, no, I think it's very difficult. I think it's very hard. Of course, your wants, needs, and desires come first. Why wouldn't it? You'd be surprised. A lot of like content creators lose themselves to kind of being a slave to the like machine a little bit. Like they'll go like, oh man, I have to constantly stream. And trust me, I understand that. I understand that and how it happens so intricately. And I'm going to say I have come close myself to losing myself at points. But I have a good... I think this is just something about me that I've always had. I've always been very self-aware. So if I feel like I'm ever going too far, I naturally pull myself back. That is just a trait that I've always had. And it is something that I think has served me well over my life. It has prevented me from ever going off the deep end. It has prevented me from ever like going too far. It has prevented me from ever like getting harshly burned due to my choices because of that. Like the times that I've been burned by other people. Which if you want to like look in a weird way, it's like that's why basically I have like trust issues with people at times, is because I have kind of learned that some people just cannot be trusted, and you're kind of a fool to blindly trust people. Why I'm glad my cat gets on me and reminds me to take a break, whether work, exercise, or gaming. Yeah. I think like that's kind of another thing, is like actually having my dogs. It forces me to like, I can't just like degen and lose myself for an entire day. I have to take care of animals. I have to take care of myself. I have to take care of the house. So like there are numerous things that will pull me out and stop me from just like, again, losing myself. They become tectone. I'm just trying to think of like how to word this right. I mean, obviously there's a ton of people out there that don't like tectone. I think tectone, and this is not my judgment. I have my own private thoughts on tectone, but I think objectively speaking, just looking at tectone, he's a very polarizing figure. He's very controversial. He does things that he knows will upset people. He does it either for the drama or he does it for the attention. It doesn't really matter. It's all kind of trying to feed the machine for him. But no, I guess you could argue if there's one thing in Tectone's favor, it's that he is a success. I think the issue that you see with maybe other gacha content creators that just constantly gacha surf is they're all trying to be Tectone and they're all failing because they don't, I guess, understand what makes Tectone successful. And they sit there and they try to at least emulate the like, oh, I'm going to be an authority on like all these different gacha games. And I feel like the more they try to do that, the less of an authority they actually are, right? There are people that I still think like they assume that they know everything about FGO. Chat, I've been playing this game for 8 years. I know most of the mechanics in this game. I'm still not stupid enough to claim that I know everything about this game. Like, there is some part of me that goes like, nah, there's still shit you're not sure of. And it's like, yeah, hey, it is what it is. It's a very complex and like big game. But because of that, I think like that has given me at least a little bit of humility. I think the problem that some of these other people have is they get like way too big of an ego. They sit there and they go like, oh yeah, I know everything about this game. I know everything about that game. I know everything about the third game that I'm playing, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the sixth. And it's like, dude, no, you don't. No, you don't. If you're bouncing between gacha games that often, you can't actually know everything about those games. I've never heard of Tectone until you mentioned them. Is what it is. You have some of those creators to be a success and they turned on them. Yeah, I think like I think I can sympathize with that. I have many a times had my hand that fed be bitten. I have many a times tried to like elevate someone, raise them up, give them the world, and watch them either squander it, cause bullshit, or basically like turn on me. And I think that's also where like trust issues come from, right? Is like I, as a content creator, have learned to keep to myself because unfortunately, despite the best of intentions, people will always use it against you. People will always hold stuff against you. And it's so stupid. Some of it's just jealousy. Some of it is spite. Some of it is just they don't like you, but they're going to try to manipulate you. I don't really care what the reason is. But like usually, again, the people that I hang out with and the people that I do stuff with, they're just friends. Like, I don't think they need to be anything more than that. And I feel like the people that are like trying to like work some angle and they're trying to like get ahead in the streaming community and stuff like that, it's like that's the problem, right? So there have been numerous times over the years that I've had issues with other even FGO content creators. And because of that, I never mentioned by name. I always keep to myself. I always keep things on this channel because it is so tiresome to be made into the villain at every turn, despite you just keeping to yourself. For instance, I will give you guys an example. This was not terribly long ago, but I had to tell a content creator to stop interacting with my content because they couldn't play nice. Like, that simple, right? Like, it's the idea of like, if you don't have anything good to say nothing at all. And they couldn't manage that. They had to come in and basically like throw shade. So it's like, if you're gonna do that, just don't come around. That is the best option that I can come up with. But like, I don't want drama with people. I never have. And I've always tried to avoid it whenever possible. But some people will force it on you. And it sucks. That is, I shit you not, chat, that is the worst part of content creation, is having to deal with other content creators. Some of them are great. Some of them are scum. And if I were a lesser individual and I was like willing to just kind of forsake everything, I could absolutely like just dirty laundry a ton of people. I don't want to. It's not worth it. There's no fucking point, and it just comes across as things like sour grapes. Okay? But at the end of the day, that is why I don't interact with some people. That is why I basically choose not to. I've been burned at every turn. I've had people steal my emotes. I've had people basically rip off my ideas. I've had people try to rip off my ideas and then charge money for them. I've had people essentially try to like steal content creation ideas from me. I've had people try to emulate my works. I've had people try to effectively come up with a carbon copy of my work, claim it as theirs, and claim mine doesn't exist. When shit like that starts happening, you get defensive. You get to a point where you're just like, fuck this shit. And that is unfortunately like the issue that I've had at times. So if you guys have ever been around long enough to have seen me like snapped on somebody that was another content creator, rest assured that's why. And I know there is still a good chunk of the community that does not like me, and they never probably will. I have just learned to accept that being a major content creator for the game, at least in some circles, right? I'm not going to claim I'm the biggest content creator or anything like that, but like at least here on Twitch, I guess you could say. But because of that, like that just makes enemies. There's nothing I can do about it. There's going to be people that are always upset with me because of it. Open the floodgates, name and shame. I'm joking. Don't kill me. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. I just like, I've had so much crap thrown my way over 8 years of content creation. And it sucks. I really wish I didn't. Honestly, like the past, I would argue the past 2 years have been the most chill. Thankfully. Like I said, really only the incident that happened like earlier this year is the only thing that I can remember in the past 2 years. Otherwise, everything's been chill. Most people are either just leaving me the fuck alone or they're interacting with me because they actually have like positive energy. And it's not like, oh, I'm trying to like destroy you type of energy. Because again, that's the shit I can't stand. It's like people can't just let other people be, and that's so dumb. Cat drama will emerge, cat alter. Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's been at least one point where my hand was forced. I had to actually, like, go waist deep into the drama chat. And I know from that experience that one, I could have handled it better. And I'm sorry for that. And two, but that it didn't matter because simply due to the fact that I was not X person, I was Y person, they were always going to hate me. I was always going to have a target on my back. So that just was what it was. And that's exactly why, like, still to this day, I don't interact with those people. You can personally say you're the most down-to-earth streamer in the FGO community I know of. Thank you. Appreciate it. The Wadwath channel? Yes. We'd be here all stream, literally, probably multiple streams. Oh, no. No, it would be a week. It'd just be a week of stories, chat. I'm not even kidding. Like, that's the problem with it. It's like, there's that much. And it's weird because at least for a long time, thankfully I don't see people say that too much now anymore, but like, there was a point in time where a lot of people were like, oh my god, the FGO directory is so like, so nice, so comfy. Like, everyone here is so great. And I'm like, if only you knew. At least, like, I will say nowadays it at least is more chill. But I think it's because, one, some of the problem people have left, and two, the community itself is kind of like downsized. So because of that, it just is a little bit more tight-knit. You're my all-time favorite because of vibes. Thank you. Appreciate it. Daily campfire of drama. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not somebody that like revels in that stuff. I don't care for it. I want things to go smoothly. I always have. So as long as like shit's chill, it works for me. Trying to like make it not is what actually upsets me. Particularly when people are kind of just like kicking a hornet's nest, right? All right, daily story roll. That's a servant, at least. Damn, could have been an Ezo at least. Oh no, wait, no, Ezo's limited, isn't he? Yeah, so like, it's funny because I feel like at this point, you're almost hoping that you get servants off of this. Obviously, there's things like, you know, like K-Scope and Black Rail that could show up on the story banner, but like, I feel like most people are just hoping for like rare servants for not only like coins, but also just so they don't have to roll them on their own end. At this point, there's like 8 or so bigger FGO streams and a few low view count ones. I feel like the low view count ones in a weird way could easily become like not high view count, but they could at least become consistently like middle view count just by being consistent. I think usually what happens with a lot of low view count streams, and this comes from experience, chat, of like trying to interact with like smaller streamers and stuff just to like kind of help the community and stuff. I kind of stopped doing it because I noticed that like no matter how many times I would try to interact with small streamers, they either would be inconsistent as all hell and just like not show up, or even if they somehow were consistent, they just kept to themselves. They never like raided, they never visited, they never interacted. Like, it's so weird to me to watch like the gravitas that some streamers have and to then feel like in the FGO community that you have to effectively go slumming. Like you basically have to be like, okay, I'm gonna go visit the small streamer stream, see how they're doing, and give them attention, and they never return it. Which I just want to say, in case there is a small streamer out there, one of the easiest ways to grow your channel is to interact with a bigger streamer. I'm not even kidding you. Like, the fact that like small streamers don't get that is one of the major reasons why they don't grow. It's like, you don't make a name for yourself. You don't ever like show up anywhere, but then you expect people to come to your stream. And it's like, huh? Give me all the SRs, right? But they were inconsistent as all hell. Yeah, I'm not making any like judgment on like personality or something. Just that like this is a problem that I noticed is that like a lot of small streamers, they're not ambitious enough, right? Like you could argue that like big streamers are way too ambitious, but small streamers are like not ambitious at all, and it's kind of funny. And usually when there is one that's ambitious, they do succeed. Would it be like 50-50 chance of it going south? What, like interacting with somebody? Not if you're chill. I think like this is the problem on the internet, is that like a lot of people on the internet are socially maladjusted. So they do not understand how to actually properly interact with people. Like coming into a stream, adding the streamer and saying fuck you is not a good way to get that streamer to like you. I know that's a shocking revelation, but chat, I've literally had people do that. So let that serve as an example of like, people don't understand, okay? If there's a 50-50 chance of it going south, that means that the person was bad at like actually interacting with other human beings. Because I feel like, don't get me wrong, this and sorry chat, I know we're not like playing at the moment, just give me 1 second here to make my point and we'll move on. If you can't at least like show a little bit of like respect and like just kind of like try to like act chill with people, of course you're gonna fail. Like if you just have functionally a grating personality, that will not work, right? Like, so in a weird way, and I would tell everybody this, that like, while a lot of people are on their internet because they don't want to socialize and they're bad at it, one of the ways you can improve is to use the internet. And I'm going to say that, like, that is the easy way for you to get a foot in the door, is to just actually try to interact with people. But yeah, I just, God, I guess I'm not that bad at socializing. Well, like, for instance, and I can say this, I feel like a lot of chat talks with me, but chat maybe doesn't talk amongst themselves too much. Like, there's certain people that do, but like, that I think is like the people that talk amongst themselves are usually the more social people. Easier to talk to a name on a screen than a face IRL? True, yeah. You're anonymous on the internet, chat. No worries, we can solve that. Join the J Collective today. No. No advertising. No promotion. Didn't you read the rules? But no, I really do mean that. I think, like, you have nothing to worry about it going south unless either A, the bigger person is an asshole, or B, you are socially awkward / inept. Now, chat, in the case of A, do you know how you avoid these people? You lurk their stream. If they're an asshole, you'll know within 5 minutes. I'm not even kidding. You'll know. How a streamer treats their chat is usually the actual indicator of whether or not a streamer is an asshole. People can't hide their true selves too long, and it becomes really hilarious. I do think this is also why a lot of VTubers try to be parasocial, and they try to almost not talk directly with chat at times, is because they're afraid of their true self coming out. But yeah, like, quite literally, a streamer can try to hide it, but it's eventually going to come out as to whether or not they're an actual asshole. Don't interact with assholes. That's the best thing I can say. And if you're socially inept and awkward, just apologize. Just try to get better at it. That's simple. Like, and if you're like, I guess the other easy way, chat, is think before you say something. That's like the easiest way to prevent yourself from being a total asshat. The horrors of being an extrovert. Most engineers are introverts, by the way. I can drive my fellow engineers nuts. There is a girl at our office that some mornings is like a firecracker. Like, when I am just like standing there and I'm trying to like get my coffee, I am functionally getting yelled at. Not like in anger, in pure joy. I am not a morning person. If you try to talk to me before I have my coffee, you'll get a response. But if you like start trying to like heavily interact with me, you're going to get the 1,000-yard stare. And I will mentally tune you out. Or I will snap. But yeah, that's just, she's really extroverted is the best way I could say it. They talk around chat. Yeah, I see a lot of VTubers do that. There's a lot of VTubers that will not like actually interact with stream, they will not like directly read. They will like basically react to a general consensus that shows up in chat, and they will have their mods snipe anybody that actually like tries to at them. And I know there's a reason for that. And the reason is basically that there is a danger in directly interacting with people because people fear their true self coming out. If I have to directly interact with chat, I have to talk with you one-on-one as if you're another person. Which means that I have to kind of adopt my normal conventional like speaking habits and my normal conventional thinking habits. If I don't have to directly talk with you, I can act however the hell I want. Introversion and extroversion is more of a moving spectrum. People have thresholds of interaction above, below, which they get screwy, and those can change. Yeah, I mean, I could be actually extroverted when I need to be. There's no problem with it. My father is an extrovert. My mother is an introvert. And I just basically can do either at that point, I've learned. I do favor being introverted, but I think that's just as somebody that I guess, like... I think it's a learned behavior from when I was younger and being, like, so tall that I learned to just keep to myself because either people were being way too fucking nosy and annoying or people were being assholes to me. And so a lot of the time I learned to just keep to myself in that regard. I still had plenty of friends growing up. I still, was involved in a lot of things, including sports. But I learned there were some interactions that it was just better not to have. How dare you be happy in the morning? No, you see, it doesn't matter that someone's happy. It matters that they're like screaming at my face. I'm not going to yuck someone else's yum. It's when it's directed my direction at a decibel level that is way too high. Then I'm going to be like... Bane of my existence are coworkers that hug you on site. I don't have that issue. But to be fair, I have always tried to maintain... I feel like I've always tried to maintain an air of, like, don't fuck with me at the office. And that, like, that actually does work quite a bit. Okay, chat. Actually, hold on. Let's double check Wandjina shop here. I'm just not gonna have enough gold. I know that's what the end result is gonna be. Yeah, you can see it's like, in a weird way, I'm almost done with the Ascension mats, except on the gold side. The gold, actually, gold and silver are both pretty ass. Bronze is good. I don't have enough to buy a full stack of any of these, so I just sit on that for now. That's mostly in tubers. Yeah, sorry. I don't really watch Japanese tubers too much. So like I could easily see how Japanese VTubers are different. Because I do think, and this is not true of every single one of them, okay? At the risk of generalizing, I do think there's a lot of English speaking VTubers that they're in it for the clout and not like the physical enjoyment of like being an idol. That's where I see a lot of like Japanese VTubers differing in that regard. And I'm not gonna say that like that there aren't Japanese VTubers that are in it for the clout. I'm sure there are, but I know I shouldn't take arts chat, but it's the comp that I have. Second, need 1600 gold for to get to monuments. Were you like popping apples to get through it, John? Or did you like roll? This is gonna get spicy in a hurry. Merritt's comp struggle with the CQ? Yeah. I just gotta like keep Castoria protected. Okay, charge gain is not appreciated. Oh, I'm taunted on Voyager. Yuck. Okay, we gotta go after Tai Sui. He's the actual problem here. Stumbling onto the Penth comp for 90 plus plus really helped. Yeah. Even doing 90 plus plus is what it is. I rolled on the main and MLB the Gold Sea. Gotcha. Ah, Kitty with the comfy check. Chat, are you comfy? Those curse stacks are actually kind of terrifying. Oh, okay, Yagyu. F me, I guess. So, none of them should have Invuln Pierce. Wait. Hold on. Except for Creamhild. Creamhild's gonna be a problem. So somebody here is going to die. Yeah, because of that, I actually have to deal with Creamhild as fast as humanly possible. I think. Hold on, how much do I have there? I am 1% shy of rounding. I have 40%. I would need the next rank up to get 42%. Technically, I only need 41 to make that round. Oh, God. Well, that's the case. Let's do it like that. And then we stun. I basically have to two-turn her. That's pain. It just is what it is. Like, because of the two-turn art seal at the beginning, it kind of like lets them get set up and it becomes a major issue. Bro. Okay. I may have to restart this. Yeah, single targeting this is not as easy as I thought it would be. And she, of course, goes after primary DPS. Yeah, I didn't know she was going to do that. So there's two options. One is I can go back and I can cleanse, or I could just like triple seal this. I could also just try to get like Morgan Le Fay online, but my skill cooldowns are not great for a true immortal comp. Take a support, Morgan. I will try. Yeah, I actually think bum rushing this with AoE is the better play. Which is sad. Like, probably shouldn't be. Uh... You can see just how much the filters are impacting, like, the units showing up. It's not that there's not. It's that nobody has MLB of the event C. AoE is king. I mean, for a servant gauntlet, it's definitely not bad. Why is this just the Six Flags we want to party? I just realized that's what the beat here is. Why don't you filter out non-event Cs? Because I'm looking for non-event Cs. But I'm not getting anybody that I want. Yeah, CQs don't have anything, so unless I was like taking a damage C unit, it's really not a big deal. There's a Prisma Cosmos Mamo. Kind of primarily getting the same group of people over and over again. There's at least a Prisma Cosmos Merlin? Then I'd have to use my own Castoria. And I feel like the Merlin skills are far less important than the Castoria skills are. Ooh, this is the challenge quest? This is the challenge quest on the new player account. Which I have no business doing, but this is a Buster C. Stars per turn. I'll go with it. It's not the worst. Problem is my Morgan's not going to be too hot either. 111 NP1. There we go. Why you get a costume for the servant if you'd ever plan on rolling said servant? Because you can't get the costume otherwise. So you never know when a servant will show up via like a GSSR or via like them just being joint on a banner or something like that. It's just generally a good idea to grab every costume you can because they have a tendency to, at bare minimum, disappear for long periods of time. At least that's my mentality on them. Sorry, I'm just thinking about order of operations here. Oh, Creamfield's got that defense up. Oh, God. Okay. This is going to be a little nasty. I got Tanta de Tai Sui. Huh? Oh, okay, because it was showing as if we were still targeting Creamhill. I was going to say, I was like, why was it showing effective? That's really fucking weird. Probably the nastiest aspect of this, yeah. You're technically supposed to be able to do the CQ? Technically. Okay, good. Hell yes. And she's taunting me now, which is actually ideal. Okay, NP loss is not, though. What the fuck? I just have to go ahead and use that now already. I shouldn't do this, but I'm gonna do it. And we're gonna try to insta-gib Kriemhild. And it didn't work there. That's good. That's good. Okay, she'll be close enough to die from the next NP. God, dude, that curse tick is just nasty. He stalks his prey, the wild Castoria. No, hit Morgan, you bastard! I think I'm safe to take another round of hits. I think. Bro. Those fucking curse stacks, man. The game knows. It really does. I'm telling you, Voyager's gonna be the one that just lives eternally here. But I actually stalled quite a bit of time there, so I should have secured time for some of my cooldowns. Why did you evade? Little bastard. It's got to go on Morgan because they both have cards. I might be able to kill, but I doubt it. So close. Actually close. Doesn't matter. This just eats a solemn defense stack. But I've got to get everybody back to their NP next turn. Or is this the turn that it all falls off? Okay, that was the turn. All right, sweet. So we're actually up against Yagyu. Now we send this against Yagyu. It sucks because that was like card-wise, that was a really good turn. But this should kill off Altera, and if I'm lucky, it breaks Yagyu's bar, but I doubt it. Ooh, wow. Okay, so that actually works perfectly because I believe he instant charges on bar break, which when he's already full, who cares? It's no impact. It's gonna do the exact same thing that it has been doing. So that's good. That was perfect synergy. So instead of dealing with back-to-back NPs if I had missed, because we bar broke, now he's just gonna keep doing it. Oh wait, is that a permanent? I really hope that's not a permanent dodge. I assume it's a percent chance based. I don't remember. It's one hit? Okay. Okay, Voyager's got it again. Now we got Eris in here. These are my last 3 units at least. And he's just got 1 left. Thankfully we have all of our charge skills. So we will be ready to do this again real fast. Come on, game. Good crit. Better damage. So you can see we just kind of barely lasted. We have 2 turns left on her invuln, which would be my out. I literally, let's check everyone's stacks. So I have 1 stack left on Morgan. I have 2 left on Castoria, and I have 2 left on her. So we're actually going to throw Castoria's arts up on Morgan right now, just in case they pierce through it. That is literally all it is there for. We actually also have a Morgan Le Fay Brave Chain. So we are just going to kind of use this. That's leaving that to chance. She'll get 5%, which will be 97. She actually needs to get hit once for her to have it. Technically, she'll have her NP gain, though, next turn, so we'll be fine. The goal here is pretty much just deal as much damage to Yagyu as possible. We actually end up killing him, thank God. Oh boy, more curse stacks. The good news is that will not tick. We will not feel that curse because this is the turn that everyone gets their NP off. As I was saying, this is the turn that everyone gets their NP off. Something told me they were not going to hit Castoria, and I knew it. She just needed an enemy to hit her once, and of course they refused. Annoying, huh? It happens. It is what it is. But this is the basis of the Invincible comp, and you guys can see I'm managing to pull it off in suboptimal conditions. I don't have the synergistic Merlin type support, and it's still working. I don't have my Morgan Le Fay skills leveled, and it's still working. I don't have my Merlin skills leveled, and it's still working. I don't even have a protection mystic code equipped, and it's still working. So a lot of like how the Invincible comp works is just playing it well sometimes. There was definitely a point where I got lucky, and that was the point where I said, I think I can go one more turn, and I did. And if they had double tapped one of the units there, I would have been in deep doo-doo, but they didn't. So I was able to pull that out. Yeah, we need to kill Voyager. Voyager actually kind of a problem. He's been there the whole time, and he's still got a third of his health bar. So it's time to start actually focusing on him. Eris will die on her own. And she's, like, other than her potential to death proc, we're really not worried about Eris. But Voyager keeps AoE hitting me and keeps just charging everybody. He is getting charged per turn as well. So it's just an annoying thing. Okay, Morgan is going to have a hard time getting to her NP. She needs to be with her NP next turn, and we do not have cards. We also do not have anything to charge Morgan, so the good news is we do have the overcharge stack. Let's actually see. Oops, sorry, wrong page. So it's only got one turn left. Castoria is who doesn't. We're gonna at least get to Castoria's and P to protect. I'm sorry, what? Did I just miss something there? Is there any games you have your eye on in the upcoming Steam sale? I gotta play the games I have. That's my problem. I think Proto Merlin only has one stack, and she got double tapped there. Oh, she doesn't have a stack. Interesting. She doesn't have a stack, and she just simply got one hit KO'd by a Voyager crit. That is a spicy meatball. What if I did that? Oh, he's immune. Never mind. That was dumb of me. Okay, never mind. We're just gonna go ahead and pop the invuln then, and just take the precautionary measure. It's better than losing the unit. Weird uses because of Morgan's MP? Yeah. She still has the damage C, so it's going to offset this quite a bit. This'll kill. Oh my god, why did you give her crit up? Bro! Game! Fuck off! Oh my god! Voyager passes on the crit damage, and Eris pops her own crit damage, and then Eris immediately double attack beelines for the Berserker. Of course. That is the only way she could have killed someone, and she did. There's points like this where I feel like the game is just going like, no, that's what you get for trying to actually like get rid of the problem unit. Punishing me for taking a risk. There, now, try it again. And this time Morgan gets to her NP, you piece of shit. It's what I should have done before, to be fair. See? That was of no consequence now. So we're probably close enough. We just send this and we go for the kill. But stuff like this does happen. The game knows how to tilt people. It knows how to tilt people when it goes for the like extreme like result, right? Oh no, I was stunned. Doesn't matter. But there you go. There is the first challenge quest completed by the new player account. And it did it. And it worked. I'm not going to say this account's going to be able to do every CQ. It certainly will not. But yeah, it found a way. And thank you to whoever suggested rolling Morgan. It certainly already paid off. Okay, chat. Now we can start LB1. Events will come for the win. Sometimes it do be like that. It was me, Dia. You was gonna skip her, wasn't you? No, so like the issue that I had is she was not the go-to AoE that I had in mind. She's not perfectly synergistic with the account's current like standing. But none of that matters in the face of me just wanting like some kind of AoE that's effective. All right, so begins Lost Belt 1. How many sacred on average for NP2? What do you mean, like for me to get NP2 or something, or like how many sacred on average is it going to cost you to get 2 copies? Because usually the average Sanct Quartz amount is somewhere like north of 300, right? So you're looking at about, I think it's like 370 is the average. But remember, that's average, and you can get above or below the result quite easily. So at the end of the day, looking at like NP2, you'd be looking at like somewhere in like the 700 quartz range on average. It doesn't mean you won't see people that'll luck sack 2 copies and tickets. Feel lied to right now. Feel like Avalon told me you could do this without leveling your mash. But you know what? Chat, I think it's time we level our mash. And it's not a bad idea to do anyways. Mash is a unit that you really kind of do want leveled up at some point. We're just gonna kind of blitz her there as fast as possible, especially since like most of my key units are leveled up now. Why am I doing this? This is the old-fashioned way of doing things. Hold on, I'm smarter than this. There we go. We got a proc. That definitely saved some members. Now Ash is level 80. Let's actually take a look at her skills. I don't think I can level them, but I could take a look. We could at least advance them. I see no issue there. Well, chat, 333 mash it is. Nothing I can do about that. Yep. She needs the one critical material that I just cannot afford to spare. Sorry, Mash. Those seeds. I'm getting to the point where I'm about to just like, even though I can farm the seeds, I'm about to just go pure prism them because I need that many that there's just no reason not to. Take the OG Mystic Code and let's go. You really do need mash leveled for those solo LB fights. I believe you don't have to win this one is the reason why you don't necessarily have to have mash soloed or something like that. Oops. Oh, no wonder. I think my pen is broken. No wonder it doesn't work. You don't have Arctic MC yet? No, not yet. Used to get the KP Earth node in a few months, Seeds node. Yeah, not my account. my account is a big no. I don't remember if I have to live like 3 turns here or I This is my first time using a Mash MP. Hi, chat. I haven't used Mashed MP until Lost Belt 1. Narratively, it's been used. Actually, in game, I have not. Just 3 turns. There you go. So yeah. So I mean, quite literally with a Mystic Code that could have saved you one turn with a with Mash's Invuln that could have gotten you another, so you only need to live one turn to be able to survive that, in theory. Or a Volumen, yep. You could also equip a craft essence that could give you some sort of defensive capability, at least for a turn, and that would be enough to keep you alive. So technically a level 1 Mash could do that. And there you go. Chat asked, where's my Arctic Mystic Code? There, chat. I got Arctic before I ever finished leveling the original Mystic Code. Feels good, man. So you already noticed we're getting a lot of 0 AP story nodes. I told you guys that was going to become more common, and it absolutely is. This is just the way the game works nowadays. Lost Belt is the start of a lot of trends that still persist to this day. Some good, some bad. You skipped Epic of Remnant? Yeah, obviously. Like there's no reason to touch Epic of Remnant right away from the standpoint of you want to get caught up for story purposes. That should be enough. And that's his on death effect. We don't need that yet. Hey, why is this plug suit equipped? What? What party did you put him into? It would be worse if they put everything at 0 for the so-called finer chapter catch-up. I hope they do, honestly. Arctic MC is post LB1, I thought? No, you get it right here at the beginning. Because Arctic is basically Neo OG plug suit. So it's your, sorry, not OG plug suit, OG Mystic Code. So it is basically your like Mystic Code for all of Lost Belt in that regard. There you go, just one turned it. Ooh, stingers. Excellent. Now I just need them to start dropping seeds. Actually, let me double check. Where's the currently best seed drop in the game? Because obviously I don't have access to it yet. Bleached Earth. Oh, it's Salem. Okay. So that would be my reason. I guess now I can do Fallen Babylon in the Babylonia Singularity, which is the third best in the game. That would not be bad for me then. That's probably where I'll switch to farming seeds. So you know what? We're gonna abuse the Avika Brawn just for some 200 extra FP here for free. Then let's see. We could also mix in Morgan right there, and I think instead of Proto, we're gonna put Ask back here. And that way, I have 3 AOE's for this. Should the situation call for it. But I think we will now, since we have Arctic especially, we will now try to finish off the OG Mystic Code. There's no reason not to. It's a very good Mystic Code. But you kind of want your Mystic Codes capped out, at least from the standpoint that way they're as strong as possible for situations that may or may not require them. I think I can fit a little bit of somebody on the back line. Let's see. Paris would work, so we'll go with Paris since Paris is already partially bonded. Can I post a link for all the servants that use seeds? I don't know why you would want to. It looks like the Babylonia node is close enough to Salem and drop to be an insignificant difference. Yeah, I'm not really worried about it as long as I have access to one of the better nodes. It doesn't have to be the best. The problem is I was farming Okeanos, which was like the 13th best node. So definitely not like the best. Do you have a favorite 1 or 2 star servant? It'd probably be between Mary Anning or Rash. Later, King. Have a good one, bud. I seen people ignore Mash as much as possible, which is sad. Avalon, I know, has specifically tried to ignore her, at least just to see if it was possible to, like, complete the game with a level 1 Mash. Unfortunately, Ordeal Call 4 forced him to have to level her, I believe. Like, I do agree you should level Mash. Mash is a great character, but it was one of those deals of like, hey, let's see if this actually can be done. You think FGO needs new 3-star and lower servants or not because they can't clear 90++ nodes? Yeah, I'm pretty much in the latter. I don't think it will help anybody at the current point in time because they can't really clear. So like we're at this point in the game with the 4 stars, like NA is a different story, okay? But like put yourself in JP's shoes. 3 stars, unless their kit is completely unique, basically are at the point now where they are largely just replaced by the permanently available, pretty insane roster of welfares. So as a result, I don't feel like the game gets much from adding more 3 stars, unfortunately. If that makes any sense. The Monster Musume opening? Yeah. He lasted a very long time, true. I think he quite literally I think there were certain fights like even where a mash was required, he was able to get away with using like somebody else's. But that kind of just like Ordeal Call 4 just kind of killed him. More 3-star supports like Shufu. And that's what I mean when I say like if their kit isn't wholly unique. Like a Rash, for instance, has a wholly unique kit in that like he offers a service that while other people can offer the service, like say for instance Tutankhamun can kill himself. Tutankhamun's a 5-star. A Rash is 1 star. So you start comparing those and you realize the value of a Rash is that he is cheap. And that then makes a huge difference. Basing everything around 90++ is boring. Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying I don't think it actually adds much to the game at this point. I certainly am not gonna like sit there and be like, oh my god, how dare they? They added low star units. I'm just gonna say that like it's probably not worth the devs' time. But if the devs want to do it, go for it. Yeah, I mean, one that we could actually potentially use, and I've pointed this out before, is someone like almost akin to Shufu, but you need it to actually be a quick support. Let's do that, but he still needs some NP gain. And he has none. What? What? Rash's biggest asset is he gets the hell out of the way. Right. Both other self-destruct NPs are single target. Yeah. I mean, technically, again, as Chad has pointed out, it's like you do have Habitrot. Habitrot at least, like, has the good graces to, like, get her NP off and then move herself out. So it kind of just is the best of both worlds in that regard. I should have just left Waver out of the party and just should have just gone with the triple lineup of Morgan, Avika Braun, and Ask. And I feel like that would have worked better. Low stars help me 6 slot during a lotto. So trust they're always welcome. Sure. Not gonna dispute that. But do you need more of them? Or would you rather just have more Bond Grails? Oh shit, that was the wrong turn. God damn it. Here I was sitting here thinking it's like, oh, I've already made it through. I had not, in fact, already made it through. So I just used the Mystico to attack up on a turn that I shouldn't have. Hopefully it doesn't come back to haunt me. So I'd go with the triple buster chain, but I don't think I'm gonna kill. Vikabron's actually pretty useful in this Lost Belt, at least early on. I feel like the problem with Quick is having bad MP gain. I mean, to a degree, yes. I also think it just in general, Quick suffers from a lack of like support options. Tiamat definitely helped that. But it wouldn't be terrible to get like a low star unit. Do I have to break the bar? I assume I have to break the bar. Gonna go ahead and pop that because it's a protection mechanism at this point. And we're gonna try to focus on getting Morgan to another NP. Come on, kill Waver. You know you want to. That's got to be 20% charge. Damn it. Of course I was right. Of course I was right. How unfortunate. Yeah, I don't think she'll kill a Vikabron, but I should have probably popped his third skill. I'm just going after Waver more than anybody else. Could kind of pop everything there. Could have also drained with Waver for the additional defense down, but I valued the Morgan Brave Chain a little bit more. Probably shouldn't have, though. It's probably more damage to do Waver first. I was gonna say, well, at least she has the attack down and crit down, but it didn't matter. She still crit. Vikabron, go. Your time is now. Your people need you. Vikabron, Brave Chain, go! So I probably don't have to completely kill Angry Cat here because this is basically the game's first actual break bar fight. And it is given to us at a point at which we are at the end of a 3 turn. So we probably just have to break the first bar, not actually break both. And there you go. Don't ask me how I knew. I did not look at a guide. I just guessed. Usually the game is pretty chill about things like that. Like if it's one of your first times encountering a mechanic, the game is not usually going to like ball bust you too hard. It will take it easy on you. Who do you think is the best quick DPS right now in NA? That's a good question. I mean, I guess it really depends on, like, are you looking at, like, AoE or single target? Are you looking at, like, critting? There's obviously people like Van Gogh that are just really freaking nuts. And then there's, like, you know, like Doman that can just sit there and loop. And then there's, like, Khazra drop at this point that actually, like, can scale off of additional Sakura faces. So I think it's tough to say, like, one unit is quote-unquote the best. And it really just depends on, like, what you're fighting and what you're dealing with. Lancers. Hi, Waver. Get out. Get to the back. If JP low, he's definitely up there. Yeah. It's like, it really just depends. Sinoriku, unfortunately, I think Sinoriku has kind of been passed by some of the other options that have come out. It's gonna seem absurd, but we're low-key trying to get Morgan to get more charge. Basically needs 20%. I didn't think about that. I should have taken the other Mystic Code, but whatever. Or I just should have given her a different C, since technically Ace casts a 50% charge C now. Or charge effect, since I actually ranked 10 her first skill. Ace is actually like my best like skilled unit so far. Gonna take the free charge. Is this the German Sailor Moon opening? What? What am I listening to, chat? Gotta mix it up, I guess. The first break bar in LB's Epic of Remnant had break bars, right? But Epic of Remnant is optional, and the devs did make this a like easier thing because of that. I'm actually really surprised that Morgan didn't clear the low health enemy there. It was a really bad damage result, but this is kind of what you can expect from, well, units that end up like this. So I have a full Brave Chain there. We're taking it. We have a Bicorn. I don't care. Bicorn gonna die. Though it might have been more dead had I actually completed successfully a 3-turn. Kept my buffs. Still easy. Again, 120 NP5 units can kind of just obliterate things, and it's hilarious at times, but it also does, like, for older content like this, it actually can just trivialize it. You pulled Ace on this account? I've pulled Ace, Oberon, Castoria Berserker. Sorry. Technically, it was Ace, Castoria Berserker, then Oberon, then Proto Merlin, now Castoria, and I also started with Waver. And chat, again, this account has not spent a single penny. Account has not done a GSSR. So if you had done a GSSR, you could be in my situation, only even luckier. I know that seems absurd to say, but it is actually the truth. So I would say this is Angry Cat, but we have Angry Cat on our team, so it's not Angry Cat. Go with my Saber. So I did actually change up some of the supports on my main account. I did not change much. I basically just went through and put up more Saber faces. Which is something I had been meaning to do. So it's not like I skewed this in my account's favor by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I actually got rid of Kualter on my support, which is probably not a good thing for my purposes, since Kualter is at least somebody that can solo stuff. Okay, so the same problem is going to be Morgan. Let's try it. I'm basically just trying to eke as much charge as I can on Morgan, but the first turn cards are, like, really bad for this. Officially pour off to the QP mines, understandable. This one unholy ritual, you two can Luxac every banner. True. I guess, like, the point I'm trying to make, though, is, like, even if you didn't want to, like, spend a whole lot, but you at least wanted to do, like, say, the GSSRs, like, GSSRs really do just make your account succeed so much faster. However, they could also distract you a little bit, too. If you go, like, oh, well, you know, I now have this new toy to spend resources on, and you don't maybe, like, prioritize well. And I decided I thought Karen would be a good candidate, but I guess she needs Grails to really pop off. Karen shouldn't be bad for damage. Like, one of the keys to making Karen deal good damage is to have an ailment somewhere in the party, which you can achieve just by putting, like, a Avenger in your backline. That can even be, like, Angry Mango if you're looking for, like, party cost concerns. So it's not usually a huge deal. Nope. Going with that. That's stronger. This is making me feel old. I don't care for that. Jay, you're old. Honestly, I kind of preferred the old style of, like, anime openings and endings. There was a lot more, like, rock in them than nowadays. Some of them are still good. Don't get me wrong. Like anime openings are not trash by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely liked it when they were in their older style a little bit. Doesn't BG proc Karen's debuff attack? Yep. Yep, Black Grail can as well. Who knew Mango in the back pocket would be key to Karen's power, right? And I low-key think that... Oh, yes! Yes! More! Motoda! I think I need that, and I need pages really bad right now. Pages are gating me from being able to spin the seeds in the character that I want to, and seeds are gating me from leveling everyone else. We're already at section 5. Again, the Lost Belts in a weird way, because there's so much 0 AP, will actually go faster. There's not as many, like, just kind of fodder fights that you would encounter in some of the prior ones. So they've functionally replaced that with just story. If you are reading through the story, it will still take you just as long, if not longer, because Lost Belt stories do begin to bloat a little bit in length. They're still really good. I highly recommend reading them. But yeah, there's definitely the idea that, oh, hey, you know, if I'm skipping through the story, now it goes even faster. So for this one, we will actually rotate waiver back in. How are we coming on this? So we have a couple million. Actually, let's go ahead. Let's switch over to mages. Mages gives me the 20% charge just in case I need it. What server did I pick from the 4-star ticket? I got Percival for this account, because Percival has a really, really nice kit, and I needed another AoE, especially somebody that could potentially loop. Percival is a very low investment requirement, because you really only need to level his first skill in order to get him looping. So in that regard, he just kind of was a really synergistic pick. She killed it, damn it. I didn't expect her to actually just outright kill with a, like, relatively unbuffed card. But yeah, I basically had several options for the ticket. I certainly could have picked others, but I went with the one that I figured was probably gonna be the best option. Mordred was another option. Like Surfmo, sorry. Salter was an option, and Salter, I think Salter was actually the one I was considering the most. The problem is I just simply don't have any buster support other than Oberon. So it's like I could do like Oberon, Waiver, Salter, but that's not going to result in a whole lot of capability, because where Salter's real power is going to come from is Koinskaya setups, and she's really good in those circumstances. But I just kind of realized, like, oh, that's not gonna actually, like, get me what I need. You're gonna kill that demonic beat. Yep. I can't even get her to not kill a, like, 100k enemy just by brave chaining. Lartoria's quick cards have always been really strong, though. I picked the Mices as per your recommendation. Yeah, they're really good. Too bad there wasn't a second season, yes. But no, it's what I wanted was AoE, and the reason I wanted AoE was because I just knew this account needed it. With Castoria Berserker, this account's relatively set for single target for a bit. There will definitely be some problems with that. I'm gonna have to at least prepare some backups for when Castoria Berserker is not a good solution or can't get me the whole way. But for all intents and purposes, we're doing pretty solid, at least with like the welfares that we currently have. And we already have a ton of blue apples, all things considered. This account's not very old, but part of that issue is, like I said, I basically can't play it in the morning, so I have to create blue apples, and then I get to play it at my lunch break. Des Oceans de Alegres. It do be calling our name, chat. I picked Umu from the ticket, and she's been a great addition. Kind of glad I waited on Nursery around. Umu's only real issue is like her actual refund. I feel like otherwise she's pretty damn solid. So 1 out of 2. Yeah, you're not getting buffed by that, Morgan. I have at least 70% right there. Hopefully she can refund enough here. Actually, yeah, I have 90% basically. We'll abuse that. Lotari was my first 5-star back in 2018. She carried my ass. There's been a lot of like slander about her over the years, apparently, and I'm just like not here for it. I've always thought she was a fairly good unit. Even at points like before the recent rounds of like JP buffs, I think there were a lot of people that felt like she was not up to par, and like damage wise, she certainly needed some love. But her kit's never been bad. And again, the fact that she kind of just can keep doing what she does is what makes her strong. And damage arguably is the easiest thing in the game to fix, thankfully. If you're going to have a problem, you technically want to have a damage problem. As opposed to, like, if you have other mechanical issues, good luck getting those fixed. At least damage you can take into your own hands. You can grail the unit, you can gold foe the unit, you can functionally put them with the best, like, supports imaginable. And that's, like, all the easy ways to adjust it. As opposed to, like, if there's something mechanically wrong, it's got to get fixed via a dev buff, and there's nothing you can do about that. Like, there's certain things that you might be able to, like, remedy. Like, this unit scales off curse damage but doesn't have curse in their kit. Well, give them a curse command code or something, or take them alongside somebody that has curse. Like, there are things you can do in that regard, but if there is just some, like, jank in their kit that, like, there is no easy remedy for, you're gonna have to wait on the devs to actually get off their ass. And that has been the game's problem. You like Psyche, our upcoming good of welfare? I don't think she's a bad unit by any stretch of the imagination, but I also don't think she's what most people would consider to be a decent option due to her not necessarily being the most, like, meta in terms of, like, what her kit does. is a really weird version of this. I get it's Alvin and the Chipmunks, but I'm also like, it definitely sounds odd. I got the worst 5-star for my first 5-star, OG Orion. OG Orion's still pretty serviceable if you just need like some damage, but the problem is always, and I talk about this with everybody, it's like it's getting to another NP. So this is a question mark fight. I do not know what's in this fight. It very well could be a boss. Actually, we need another 2-star for the back line. You know what? Why not Hans? Hans is actually a low star support. He's very good at what he does. His only issue is because he's low star, he can die really easily. So you have to like carefully mind his health. Otherwise, he's actually quite good at like supporting the party. Well, I know what this thing is. We get to take on the Hydra. Don't ask me why I remember this, but I do. Okay, this thing's got a lot of health and a really low charge, which is unfortunate, at least for me. Actually gonna charge Castoria. Gonna rotate in. She's gonna be in a little bit of trouble there. In that regard, Waver might have been a better option. Gonna go ahead and fire the NP. You'll notice this time I put Proto Merlin's NP second instead of first. The reason why I did that is because Morgan Le Fay actually gives overcharge as her NP goes off. So one of the things that I was doing in the prior run in the CQ where I was using her first was because I actually got an early Morgan NP off on its own without needing the like survival capability. But this thing's going to be like AoE hitting me, so I'm going to want as much mitigation as possible here. So we didn't have that this time, so because I didn't get the early NP off, there wasn't already a stack of overcharge on, which meant that I was better served putting Lady Avalon second for more stars. Yeah, this is kind of unfortunate, but we're just kind of stuck with the cards that were dealt. We got 4 of a kind for Lady Avalon. So we kind of just should go with the Brave Chain, get her to her NP. And it'll help in case we need it. Skill Seal is unfortunate. Probably won't matter, though. We've pretty much popped everyone's skills that needed to go off. And everybody's still okay. So I gotta go ahead and do Morgan's first. Then she was automatically going to get to 100%. We're going to let Castoria get the remainder. There you go. She removed skill seal from herself at least. And then she resisted, which is great. Not really going to matter. We're just going to go ahead and send it. I don't remember what Diavoltron's NP is. It probably is like a breath attack. Or it could just be a multi-headed slam. Oh, G. Ryan needs an animation update? Desperately, yes. Poison breath? Yeah, then we'll end up with some sort of debuff at least. Been a hot second since I heard this. Okay, we're actually MP sealed, which is a little bit annoying. Let's see for how long. Oh, just one turn. That's nothing. Don't gotta worry about that. We do have some curse stacks ticking on us, but that be what that be. We kind of need to take the Morgan cards here, because Morgan's not gonna easily naturally get to her MP, especially with the low skill cooldown. Or sorry, the high skill cooldown that she has. So the other problem here is skill seal has a tendency to basically prevent your skills from actually like cooling down. And so the more you get skill sealed, the more of a problem it can become over the course of a fight. One of the things I really don't like about skill seal never will work that way for the player because you can't spam it enough. But for enemies, it can be absolutely annoying as all shit. So you can see he's just spamming skill seal. He's not really letting my skills come back. It's not really going to matter because I can still MP. Oof, curse, not poison. I mean, curse is fine. But you can also see, again, just taking a really survivable comp works in the vast majority of situations. Thankfully, he didn't really feel like he had AoE attacks there, so that was not too terrible. Just a second, chat. Okay, so we just got Lancers again. The good sign, just take somebody that you think is actually going to be good at dealing with them. Again, he has been quite solid for me. Throw Ace back in. And we will switch over to Mage's Association. Is Archer the next Grand? No, yeah, it's Assassin. I basically gotta start like bonding my my MHX a lot more. I need to get her to bond 10 before then. I think she's bond 8 already. But that is definitely a concern on JP. Get the charge up on her. I'm also going to pop that, get some stars on our cards if I can. Not really a huge help. Pop that. There we go. That actually helped out. We'll pre-card, and then we will let Ace candle the wave. Okay, that should be enough. She should be able to charge herself to full with her own attack skill now. Right now, my Morgan Le Fay is functionally a 30% charger just because I haven't gotten to level her skills at all. It's actually like, this account desperately needs a handful of things. One of them is Berserker skill gems. And it just has kind of been my bad luck to end up in this scenario. Okay, Morgan is probably not killing here. These are demon pores. They should not be man attribute. So we'll try to take out like 2 of them if possible, but I doubt it. Probably going to be both cards go into the same enemy. It's okay, Cad. You can just go hard during the lotto. I think the lotto is going to be the ultimate test of this account because I really don't want to have to grind multiple lottos at the same time. I've done it before. Chat knows that. But man, I really don't want to have to grind 2 of the same lotto. Two different lottos at the same time is at least there's like variance and you don't get like mind-numbingly bored. 2 of the same lotto at the same time? God. I would rather not. Okay, we take advantage of the Dragon Core for the additional buster ups there on the cards. Sorry, the additional buster cards, basically. I should like maybe 20 to 30 boxes and call it. It really depends. Usually 100 boxes is pretty manageable for just about any account, but I think the issue is going to be like, can this account 3-turn, like, let's say even like a 90 plus, right? If it can 3-turn a 90 plus, this account will be way too good. If it can't, it'll be what it'll be. Actually, the lotto coming up this year is quite interesting too, because there is a different 90 plus every day, and then there is 90 plus plus after I think like 7 days. So the structure of this lotto is rather odd. Archers again. Ah, there it was. I don't know why I was not seeing my Lartoria. Whatever. For sanity's sake, I mean, with doing the same thing twice over. I mean, in reality, being able to like do it on my phone and on the emulator, like actually I can 2-time it on stream, so that's not difficult. But the problem is like having free time to actually grind it, right? God damn it. I keep breaking this. Oh, Billy. Okay, so fortunately Billy showed up with a break bar. And because this is 1 out of 1 battle, I believe I will have to do the whole thing, but we'll see. That may be not a requirement. Gonna pop everything here, basically. If you get Castoria's skills leveled, you should be able to use Santa Nemo for one of the nodes. Yeah, that's what I'm assuming as well. Like, that's why Castoria is my, like, go-to, like, I need to level her. She is my priority. Is because she is the key to freeing up my support choice. If I can't, then I have to like take a Castoria for a lot of things, which then means I have to rely on my own damage dealers, which is not good. Better Man ending? It is Better Man. I don't know if it's the ending or not. Surely it won't be Billy again. The game wouldn't do that to me, right, chat? The game wouldn't give me multiple Billys in a row. Hey, there's a Grail in a box of 10. In box 10 of Nemo Must. Didn't know that. Yes. But yeah, I think right now what's holding me back on Castoria is the pages. Oh boy. Twice as nice. Well, don't mind if I do. I'll do it again. What is that noise? But yeah, this is just it's a really like weird thing. So you guys can see the break bars are what they are. They don't allow you to go past the health value. So if you're ever curious as to how break bar mechanics work, this is exactly how. So now at the end of the turn, the break bar pops, and then sometimes you will get like guaranteed effects. Like for instance, we're still going to get 3 attacks because both those 2 actions that they took were not them popping skills. They were actual break bar effects. Probably pop that, just save myself. We can't actually hit Billy at the moment. I believe that's a 1 turn. It is. So we'll just focus on Beowulf. He has more health anyways. We'll wait for that to pop off, then we'll pop Ace. Thanks for the free charge, Billy. You idiot. We're gonna work in Castoria, or sorry, Laratoria's arts card there. Hold on, chat. Okay, sorry. Oh, look, Billy's still alive. Whatever shall we do? Now, chat, you have the option of easily ending it with like any number of cards. But I like to be petty sometimes. And when the game just barely like is managing to subsist and chose to be evil and keep the characters alive, that's when I just give them another NP. Just secure the win. Make them take that L. Farming for Twilight Ceremonial Blades for Takaru is a pain in the ass. Yep. Yeah, at least with Takaru, like, I feel like I had a ton of them because I didn't necessarily spend them on other people. And it'll probably be the same thing for my NA account, thankfully. So, like, by the time Takaru comes to NA, I should be solid. We are getting bullets at least. You're already on section 10. Lost Belt 1 is going by super fast. Actually, like, compared to having to do like Camelot or Babylonia, which took multiple streams to get through, it would not be like crazy of me to like think I could get through this in like at least like 1.5 streams. Have I watched any season of Pretty Cure? And if so, what did I think? No, I have never watched it. Is Pretty Cure the one where they're like actually like insanely strong and they just like beat the ever-loving crap out of enemies? Or am I thinking of a different one? Yes? Okay. I've heard of it. I have not like seen it. To be fair, I'm not like a big like person for watching like magical girl stuff. I get it, but I'm also not like that type of person. There will be a 90 plus node that drops blades. Cool. Yeah. Like I said, you're basically going to get a 90 plus node for every single day. Like it'll be a new one each day, chat. So in that regard, you'll have your pick of the litter. But you'll eventually get the 90 plus plus, and that'll be like the key, quote unquote. Oh, wait. Yeah, let's go ahead and use Morgan here. Gonna end up having to use that. We'll try to use a Saber card here against the Lancer that will probably inevitably live. Lots of talented VAs have gone through this franchise. Oh. I'm not like... In a weird way, I'm not somebody that like gets too hype about like VAs because I just understand that they're just like doing their job. And the only time I really notice VAs are when they are like super iconic, or so it's like they're either just so darn good at their role that you can't not notice, or they're so bad at their role you can't not notice. Thankfully, with like Japanese VAs, the latter is rarely a case. But like as an example of the former, like basically Dio's VA, right? Like Dio is such an iconic like voice that like everybody recognizes him. I don't know what the VA's name is, But I do know that he also voices Ozzy in FGO and technically Hans. So like it is hilarious that like the voice is so iconic that you know it. And your favorite crotch clown. Yep. We always forget about that one. Pretty Cure is Toei's cash cow. Interesting. Wait, I thought Toei's cash cow was One Piece. Or do they just like not make as much like in merch sales and stuff off of that? Like I've heard that anime is just like the big thing that ultimately always drives it is merch. And so it's like even if an anime is popular, if its merch isn't selling well, like you can get an anime get canceled. This is rather odd. I think we're gonna work in an Ibuki here. It's a triple set. They have 2 berserkers and a caster. Kawasumi had roles but was regulated to side characters. Yeah. Every year a new season. Interesting. Merch and Blu-ray. Yep. Hmm. Ten enemies remaining. What the heck? Okay, so let's just card this. That is the safer play. Ah, 68. Damn it. I really thought that card in the 3rd slot was going to do it. Technically, that's Berserker on Berserker violence, so it is what it is. Let's lead with that. Let's do that and then that. You'll notice I'm not really activating anyone's skills. It's because you're going to end up like spending so many turns just to try to get through this. And the health values are also gradually going up. Do it like that and hope that we have enough off Ace's arts card. Of course. Oh, now there's 3 enemies remaining, so we'll get a backfill of the last remaining 2. That Morgan quick card's not gonna do it. I know it's not gonna do it. Okay. I'm surprised. Now we're final battle, and there's 20 remaining. Alright. When this happens, it's better to at least, like, commit. Gotta send a skin first, let her stuff do its job, let it work. I went for an old anime song for you. Understandable. They are damsels that cause distress. I see. And she doesn't have enough on that, but she is getting the charge per turn, so next turn she'll be able to. We'll go ahead and pop the NP gain because it's beneficial to the rest of the party. And then we're going to go ahead and use this. Actually, we will abuse the triple arch chain here. It'd be nice if they instantly backfilled. There are some nodes in events and like later on where instant backfills happen. So it's like you'll have a whole bunch of enemies like this. You'll kill the wave, but they immediately come out before the rest of your cards take effect. And what that allows you to do is it allows you to like potentially kill even more of them, but also like kind of just sit there and abuse it for like more NP gain and stuff. Shooting star, oh my. I'm back, baby. Oh no, yeah, I'm sorry, Bob. I have to take that back. You said I'm back. My brain like autocorrects for people whenever they type it in that exact format by putting the like asterisk behind it, because that's how I do all of my like scuffs whenever I'm typing. Yeah, let's get that 95%. Okay, we take that, we abuse it. Still got 11 enemies to go through here. Yeah, this node definitely slowed me down. This node just takes a hot second. And we're technically doing it pretty darn efficiently, too. It's just, this is a node that's designed to waste your time. And we will have one more NP, and then we are kind of SOL. I am going to abuse those Ibuki cards. Gonna use it for like some free charge there. Because I'm gonna need to get back to Ibuki's NP probably. And this is gonna be kind of a foot race for the last couple enemies of like Morgan or Ibuki who can get to the NP faster. As we're gonna have the attack buffs wearing off here. She actually killed. Hot damn. Oh my god. Both Ibuki cards crit. That's kind of nutty. And it's Voltron! Of course it is. So I think when something like this occurs, you know Voltron can spam that skill seal. So we're actually going to keep the crit chat alive as long as possible. Like we're definitely going to get to a point where we need to NP, and all of our NPs are AoE, but it's to our benefit to keep it alive because it will steal action economy from the Voltrons. This is a little bit of a tip. If you end up in a situation like this with an annoying like boss enemy and you have like fodder enemies, sometimes it can be better to keep them alive because it'll reduce the number of actions that the main enemy can take, because there can only be a maximum of 3 actions per turn with some very few exceptions. Now here we pretty much have the makings of everything that we need to pop off, so we're just going to go ahead and fire off both Noble Phantasms. We're going to use this as a means to try to kill Voltron. And so now it's okay that we kill the fodder enemy. Now, he's still got a skill seal off, so it doesn't always pay off in those sets of circumstances, but it's a good little trick to keep in the back of your mind for like pesky challenge fights, or again, like boss fights in the story. If Kawasumi landed a main pre-cure role, would you watch it? This is interesting because I've had people be like, Cad, would you play this other gacha game because Kawasumi voices someone in it? And generally the answer to that is no. Just because like my favorite VA is in something doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to watch it. Because at the end of the day, what's going to make me watch something is whether or not I actually enjoy the concept. I'm not going to say that I couldn't watch like Pretty Cure or something like that. I probably could. But I don't know. It's like it all just comes down to like, do I have the time to actually sit down and watch it with whatever like stable of shows I also want to watch already? I don't like that assassin. I'm getting paranoid that it's Dia Voltron every time. Thankfully, ironically enough, that was not the worst thing in the world. So we're just kind of keep throwing it back, doing it again. Ibuki 5% battery. Yeah, that one was unfortunate. I just kind of had to do it. I probably could have popped Ibuki first there and then held off on activating the third skill again for another turn, but it was what it was. There's a point where I go like, hey, I don't like that I'm sitting on a skill for too long. And that's probably another good point to make is like, if you ever feel like you are like just kind of sitting on your skills and not utilizing them, keep in mind that like your cooldown, especially if you have the skill leveled, like there is a point at which you could say like, okay, I could have actually gotten something out of this if I had managed to pop it early. So it's key to like watch some of that stuff and see like, okay, like how long is this battle gonna last? How many like what's the cooldown on my skills? Can I pop it early and get it back for the end? That sort of stuff. Trying to like prepare a little bit ahead of time works very much in this game. Again, the game's motto is knowledge is power. So the more you know, the better off you're gonna be. Okay, the Yaga should all be man attribute, thankfully. So that should really help Morgan's damage output, because she gonna need it. But just to be on the safe side, I'm gonna pre and postcard with Ibuki. Now the middle one will definitely die. But yeah, like I know Kawasumi voices Siege in Arc Knights. I know she voices, is it Shenhe in Genshin? And she also, I think is it St. George in Azure Lane? Or a different one? I don't, Azure Lane's the one I'm not like entirely sure of. What is the moon? A satellite that rotates around the Earth. Any other questions? Okay. Got a 1 out of 3 here. And we got the Oprichniki. But we're pretty much good to like loop Ibuki even more. If Kawasumi, oh sorry, yeah, no, I already read that. We don't talk about the moon, understandable. The moon makes people loony, chat. Always has, always will. Dude, this is all like blast from the past music. It's great. I also like how these nodes are like 1 AP. Which, we have guest servants. This may be a boss fight. Moon's haunted? True. Actually true. How's my Hans coming? Still not too good. Hans does at least have the 2 upgrades, so You'll be somebody that we will eventually level. Especially as a backup. Looney Moons, right? Yes. Some say the Earth's hollow and full of aliens, to each their own. Everybody knows that the Earth is actually a hot dog. Take that, flat earthers. 100 remaining enemies. Oh boy. Oh boy. Now, whenever you see 100 remaining enemies, allow me to emphasize the fact that this has happened numerous times in the game. That's your sign that you do not actually have to kill them all. It's the game's way of saying that we're just going to keep throwing enemies at you regardless. However, you are going to end up fighting a boss at some point. Or it'll just be a, like, battle of attrition where you just need to survive. Gonna pre-card with her. Just as a means of getting additional... Actually, I should have done it quick then, Arts. Due to the fact that it was a mighty chain. The game was Grand Blue Fantasy? Interesting. Ever since Majora's Mask, or even before that. There you go, here's your boss enemy. Skill's not leveled up all the way, so we will give her that. And then we are going to send our Noble Phantasm. Always make sure that you're targeting the right enemy. I've had numerous instances where I was not. Or, like, I accidentally, like, selected a different enemy without even realizing it. Good crits. Really good crits, actually. Well, congrats, you played yourself. So the good news is because they're backfilling, this is 3 enemies for me to hit, which means my refund will actually continue to be quite good. I don't know if I have to kill the enemy or just break his bar, but we'll see. It's probably just break his bar. Most of the fights in LB1 are not going to be hard. There's one fight that is conceivably difficult, depending on how you want to look at it. It can be good to have a good assassin for this this particular Lost Belt. This is from the first Pretty Cure, almost 19 years old. I'm actually surprised Pretty Cure's not older than that for some reason. Just assassins. Just Oprichniki. Who even needs Dia Voltron? It's just the Oprichniki. $21 old? Interesting. That's why I know this song then? Chat, stop, you're dating yourselves. Okay, it's just a 1 out of 2 with 3 enemies. That shouldn't be too difficult. I hope. No real use pre-carding here. I can get a very small increment of charge with Morgan, but that's not worth. It's going to be 1%. Eh? Chat is aware I'm the ancient one. Oh, I know, but the rest of chat is dating themselves now. Alright, it's just a simple one. Sweet. We're gonna double bag this. Basically, send off both Noble Phantasms just to be sure. Again, they should be man attributes, so Morgan should be effective here, as that is her specialty. I was watching the first Precure when it was airing in Germany. I see. A Precure song marathon, nice. Apparently. Hey, we're getting at least some decent ice. Ice is not a material you're going to need a whole lot of early on in your account. Where ice is used predominantly is actually for appends. So it's definitely a good thing to gather a lot of them, because you'll notice that a lot of units, if you go to actually level up their appends, do take ice. Kind of nasty in that regard. It's not a material that's easy to get a whole lot of. You're already on section 13. This is pretty much double how far we've gotten in most other sessions for other like story chapters. Berserker, huh? Deal. Ice is like the shells of append skills. Tons of summer units take it for appends. Yep. Yeah, shells are pretty much every summer unit takes shells, which is hilarious because obviously every year we keep getting more summer units. That's just a 1 out of 2 here, so we'll let Ace take out the first wave. I will pop everybody's attack ups. Why they give us a shell lotto? You have a shell lotto and you have a shell bleached earth node. Shells are functionally dead now. I mean, just the bleached earth node alone would be good enough to kill it, but it is what it is. There's something wrong with your caster ACAD. Why is it firing Roadless Camelot instead of a round caliber? Well, that's because I have both. I could certainly do a double MP here, but I know the strength of my own wife, and I can tell you she does not need this. We're just gonna triple buster this. And wave goodbye to demon boars. And there it is. That's one of the reasons why I brought her, is I figured she'd just be an effective... Oh, seeds. That should make 20 seeds, which is a nice even amount. Let's actually go look at Castoria real quick, because I really want to know like what's holding me back now. Skill gems, man. Always skill gems. I mean, I could certainly invest those seeds. Let me double check here. So Castoria needs seeds for basically rank 6 and 7. She needs a total of 18 per skill. So I cannot touch those seeds because I'm going to need a total of 54. So the fact that we're at 20 is good, but I need more. And that's just for Castoria's skills. For like beyond that, I think I need 30 for Proto Merlin and 30 for Oberon. I think I've maybe done on one of them, so it's probably like 50 in total. An Avenger. So now we're going to start, because we're in Lost Belt, we're going to start encountering some of the extra classes now. That has been a thing. It's not super common, but you do need to prepare for that eventuality. If you have not looked into the way the extra classes work, I can very easily explain it to you. There are 2 triangles. So there is Avenger, there is Moon Cancer, and there is Ruler. Avenger kills Ruler, Ruler kills Moon Cancer kills Avenger. There is Pretender, there is Foreigner, and there is Alter Ego. This one's a little bit weird because for a long time, Pretender was not in the game. So, Pretender kills Alter Ego kills Foreigner kills itself, and Foreigner also kills Pretender. So the reason Foreigner kills itself is because Pretender was not around for a long time, so they had to give Foreigners a proper niche other than just being good against Berserkers, which is their kind of like most infamous claim to fame. Beyond that, you have Shielder, which stands alone and just takes neutral damage from everything. And you have Beast. And Beast is basically going to end up being a class where every character in it is unique. Basically, it does not fit into any of the normal triangles. So, for instance, you have a Beast that is effective against all the Cavalry and Knight classes, but ineffective against all the extra classes. And then you have the polar opposite with another Beast that's effective against all the extra classes, but not effective against the normal 7 base classes. So it really just depends on each unit in the individual Beast class. And we do not have very many Beasts yet. I think there's, 3 in the game at the moment? Okay, so this is a 1 out of 3 node. You do this, I'm gonna have to do that. Gonna have to take advantage of the double arts cards there. Man, I'm late. Did you get both of them? That's crazy cool. Yes, I got Castoria rolling yesterday pretty easily. Sorry, yesterday, Saturday was I think when we rolled. And then chat was like trying to convince me to roll Morgan, and I was like on the fence, and then I started like looking into it more, and I was like, okay, you know, how much do I actually need? Like basically like what are our upcoming AoE options? Who's gonna be my like go-to good like arts looper? And I looked, and like the future did not really hold good ones for at least the next like at least not until really after the turn of the year. And so I said to myself, I was like, okay, then Morgan's actually really not a bad AoE to pick up, and she does work as part of the Invincible / Immortal comp. So I kind of just went ahead and went with it and said, let's go for it, because it will be a really good addition to the account. And we actually got Morgan pretty damn easily as well. So it really worked out in my favor. So far, this account is insanely luck sack. It has not had a hard time with any unit it's tried to roll, which is not as insane, I think, as chat thinks it is, but it's also at least somewhat rare. And for that, like, I fully expect that I'm going to get screwed whenever I do roll the next time. But I think this is just always my mentality that I have with this game, is that I always expect to get screwed. So I always prepare for it if at ever possible. And like right now, we can basically just build up courts until the next time we decide to roll, which Scotty's on the horizon. Koyanskaya is on the horizon. So if we manage to like snag any of them, that'll be just icing on the cake. Say goodbye to Amadeus. So again, a good like looper will get you through this. Amadeus is a little bit nasty. Avengers usually hit really hard, as opposed to rulers are usually a little bit more defensive. So they're kind of polar opposites in that sense. But if you're going up against an Avenger, expect them to be very, very offensive. Just like you see here, he basically had both crit chance up and crit damage up, as well as his arts up. So he was gonna, if he got like a turn to really unleash on us, kind of go ham. Koyan Chihuahua of Light and then Seal. Yeah, this is an actual free-to-play account, so I mean, if this account gets sealed, dude. God, that's gonna be dumb. Pretty darn close, and we'll let Morgan seal the deal here. This may have been like easier than I completed it on some of my other accounts, just because I got like really good card selection in this one. So I got pretty much all the loopability that I needed just off of cards. I missed it. Does this account have Summer Scotty? No, I did forsake rolling Summer Scotty. I knew that was gonna happen. I knew I was gonna have a master level up. That's one of the reasons why I didn't want to pop the apple earlier. I was like, man. Gotta play for another hour? No, I mean, that is quite literally to me like what blue apples are for. Pages. Yes. 3 of them. Sorry, chat. I get excited for materials on a new account. Because materials, you'll find materials are the thing that are holding you back. Just by nature. This Lost Belt sure do like its assassins, though. Thankfully, I don't see an Avenger, so we're not going to be facing Amadeus. Can always play the 90++. Absolutely. So, I could. The only problem is I will sit there refreshing for like forever just to get the right person to show up. It's a while till we get a Page Earth node. Oh yeah. I mean, again, like I'm not worried about the Bleached Earth nodes because I'm not going to get access to the Bleached Earth very quickly here. I have to go through all of Lost Belt, and in particular, Lost Belt 7 will stop this account. This account is not currently capable of getting through LB7. It needs to level more shit up. Like, I think this account has 15 leveled units, all of which are horribly skilled. You need somewhere, probably just to be safe, somewhere around like 30 units to get through LB7. And by the time we get there, we probably will, but at least as it currently stands, this account could not get through. What's the right person? Sorry, what do you mean? I'm not sure what you're asking. For the support list? Oh, cast stories with MLB event Cs. It's I know that sounds like not specific at all, but like listen. People do not want to be showing up, apparently. I rolled for Kentucky, so I have them now. Nice. Have you like Kentucky Berserker, right? So you just got MP1, or did you roll for like more? I mean, even at MP1, he's darn strong now, but he is definitely somebody where it's like if you get MP2, there's not going to be a whole lot that stops him. I rolled for MP2, I had one. Okay, I gotcha. To roll Kentucky Berserker if we already have Summer Castoria, that choice is up to you. Really just depends. I do think Castoria Berserker pretty much outclasses him in most ways, but I mean, hey, depending on how you are, that could definitely be a good thing. Maybe you don't have a Castoria Berserker. Or maybe you just want another option. Be an alter ego looping fight, but we are not going to find an alter ego that can loop easily. So we're just going to go with her. I brute forced LB7 on JP with level 1 servants and 2 K-scopes. See, that's interesting. I don't have 2 K-scopes. I have 0. That is, unfortunately, I think the one way that I haven't been, like, super lucky. This account's been super lucky on certain things like, you know, the rolls going my way. But I have gotten a couple of nice CEs that have really helped this account out. But I have not gotten, like... I have not gotten, like, a K-scope or a Black Grail. That sort of thing will probably continue to evade this account for a while, which is a good thing, because that's one where it's like, if I get one of those, it's going to be really hard for anybody to copy that. Shady Vlad, thank you for the follow. More servants, more options, better chances, and all those future tower events we don't get. Yeah. Oh, no, it's Anna. So Anna will be somebody that we will encounter again later, but as you can see, she's got her little charged doohickey on. We kind of need to go. We're going to be in trouble otherwise. Gonna go with the Morgan Arts card. Can you explain something about FGO story? Do we meet Anna for the first time during LB Prologue or Summer 3? No, I can't, because Summer exists outside the normal confines of the timeline. I know there's theories as to like when they exactly occur, but I think ever since like Summer 2, they are no longer like canonically occurring in terms of time. They do canonically occur, but when is a big question. She got attacked down. How many turns? 3 turns. Yuck. Okay, so better to just send... Wow. Wow. Okay, never mind. We're just going to send that. I just hope that's not a hefty attack down. It should just be the attack down from one of her skills. Should only be like 20%, I think. Yeah, those crits are going to do more than her NP did. So now, assuming she doesn't insta-give Morgan... I like how I said that and she literally critically missed. So if she did not have that crit chance down, she would have crit Morgan and she would have killed Morgan. Just for me saying that. Gotta love FGO. I swear it listens sometimes. Trying to make double Himiko work with Tiamat, but it's not working as I thought. Yeah. You probably have like pretty insane star overflow unless you delay some of those skills. And also Himiko is decidedly buster focused. So I assume you're trying to like play the law of averages here and say like, okay, well I've buffed Arts and Quick and I've buffed Buster, but I think the better solution would probably be Himiko double Tiamat. But I'm still not going to say that that would necessarily work too well. Char Morgan is now Bond 5. She doesn't have any upgrades, so it's not going to matter. But it is interesting. Went for NP2 Salter with my ticket. What did you guys pick? I went with Percival on this account, and I went with Double X for more coins on my main account, because otherwise I would have had to roll for it. And I was not willing to do that. All right, chat. Section 15. This is actually when this Lost Belt starts getting heftier. So we're going to leave it here. This is a good stopping point anyways. We pretty much progressed through like 80% of the Lost Belt already, which is great. That will make cleaning this up pretty easy. Let me see who is on tonight. I got some gacha gurus playing Samurai Remnants. Let's send you guys over that way. Again, if you guys enjoy, make sure you follow, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, make sure you guys get on the Discord so you know when I'm going to go live next. Spoiler, it will not be tomorrow. Tomorrow, like I said, is date night for me, so I will be live for you guys again on Thursday. Enjoy the stuff. I believe, like I said, JP gets its epilogue for its event tomorrow, as well as free Storm Pod cost for the Saber and Berserker Grand Duels again. So, have to see, but again, thank you guys for watching. Go give Mr. Gotcha Gurus my love. Have a good night.